Good evening, people. It's your friend, the old geek, and I've been doing a few internet speed checks before the stream tonight, and it seems better. So hopefully we won't have the issues. I had some serious issues on Wednesday night. I have ordered a couple of boosters to boost the signal from downstairs up to my pokey little corner in my room where I have to do my streaming from. But we'll see how it goes. They're due to arrive. If they don't arrive tomorrow, they should be here Monday. So they should be here in time for next week's streams anyway. Right. We have Crafting Gamer. We have Thief Keith. We have Iman. How you doing, chaps? I hope you're doing very well. I don't need my headphones on, do I really? I really don't need them on, so I'm just going to put them on one side. Hello, Daniel. How are you? I can hear myself now. Those are nice noise-cancelling ones. So I couldn't hear myself speak. But that's be a good thing, not be able to hear myself speak. So Daniel's here. Jeb's here. Let's see if anybody else wants to join us, because we've got 6 in chat at the moment. Let me go in a minute. And here's Gene. Gene, are you running the game tomorrow? I did ask you in Discord, but I haven't been into Discord for an hour or so. So I don't know. Hopefully so. Good man. Hopefully people will sign up. People seem to be a bit slack at ticking the I'm interested on the event. It's nice to know when people are going to be there. All right, okay. I've not been on Discord for a little bit, but I always turn Discord off when I'm about to stream. Hopefully shouldn't be an issue as of next week. Let's see if these boosters help. They're the ones that Lee suggested on Wednesday night. I've got the latest version of the TP-Link ones, capable of something like 1.2 or 1.3 gigabytes per second transfer. So that's faster than my house internet. So it's a bit of future proofing, but hopefully I'll plug one in downstairs into the router, plug one in just here, hardwire it to my computer. Hopefully it does the trick, because that's what it's meant to do. Oh yes, you two and your iron brew. Iron brew is good. I like my iron brew. It's always been good. Always been a soft drink of choice. It's made in Scotland from Gudders, as the advert used to say. But the only thing I can say with a remotely Scottish accent. Right. So we're gaming tomorrow. We're playing OSC. Then I'm running MERP in the evening. And my plan is to run some Call of Cthulhu next weekend in place of my usual OSC game. So if you've not, the scenario I run will depend on who signs up for it, because if it's 4 or 5 new people who sign up for it, then I can run one of the scenarios I've run for other people, maybe even Forget Me Not. We shall see. But if regular players want to sign up, then I can run something else, because there's quite a few things I've run that I know that I've not run for anyone on the channel yet. So I just need to know numbers, ideally, for the Call of Cthulhu game in a week's time. Really takes you back to back when you was young. Hello, Mercurius Olicus. How are you? Hope you're all well. I thought I was going to be getting a bit of a cold kicking in this morning. I felt absolutely shit when I woke up. But by the time I got to work and had a couple of cups of tea, I was like, oh, well, all right then. It was just me feeling crap, just being tired. But yeah, I'm all right. Okay. So with 9 people in chat, I like it when there's an odd number in chat, because it means we can't really, if everyone votes, no ties, hopefully. So, Beowulf. Yeah. Annoying backgrounds, bit of Beowulf. I'm fine. I just felt a bit crap this morning. I thought I had a bit of the lurgy creeping in. was all sort of sniffling, blah, 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 you know how that is. And by the time I'd had a couple of cups of tea, I was like, forgotten about that. Nothing wrong with me now. I've only had one day off sick from work for over 20 years, and that was a couple of weeks ago when my back went. I could not walk, so I couldn't serve in a shop. That's as simple as that. Before that, I had Bell's palsy 22 years ago. I think it was 20 years. 21, 22 years ago-ish. And I had to stay off work for 2 weeks because I wasn't allowed to drive because I was on steroids to try and get my face working again. So, anyhow. Have any of you ever had Bell's palsy? It's a lot of fun. I was eating my breakfast and my cereal was dribbling out of one side of my mouth. I didn't know why. And I drove into work and they were like, what the hell are you doing here? Get yourself to a doctor straight away. Because half of my face was down here. So they put me on big bad steroids for a couple of weeks. Did the trick. So, right. We're in Grendel's cave, or Grendel's mother's cave, aren't we? We've gone sort of to the source of their evil. And we were creeping around the cave. That's what I remember. And I've got written here 76. So that's where I'm going to start reading Beowulf from tonight. So here we go. More Beowulf. Cautiously, like a wild cat stalking its prey, you skirt the edge of the cave, your weapon held high, fearing what you might find lying upon the stone. I need to get my... I need to just crease the page here, which has got the pronunciations. But rather than the headless Ashera, who was the minister, wasn't he? Rather than the headless Ashera laid there, you see Grendel at rest, lying limp from the fight, his life having wasted away through the wound you dealt him. And beside the monster is the arm his mother stole back from King Hrothgar's hall. You raise the giant's sword, ready to cleave the fiend's head from his shoulders to prove to both Danes and Geats that the monster is indeed dead, when the corpse's eyes flick open and the horror fixes you with the yellow orbs of its eyes. Before your eyes, Grendel's body rises from the plinth upon which it had been laid. The monster's eyes burn with hatred for the living, and a viscous slime oozes from the gaping wound in its shoulder. To look upon the creature, from the pallid hue of its flesh to the life-ending wound you dealt it, you would think it a corpse, were it not for the fact it is now stalking towards you, murderous intent twisting its horrifying face into a rictus of homicidal hatred. Take a hero test. Every time you take a hero test, it costs you a hero point. So we automatically pass this test. I should have got my pencils ready, shouldn't I? We automatically pass this test because we have 9 hero points, and you do that on a D6, but it costs us a hero point. If you pass the test, turn to 101. I hate it when that happens. Yes. Sword held high in single-minded anger, you mean to settle with the monster for those stealthy raids it made against Hrothgar's people, the Spear Danes. Right. We go straight into a fight. Oh, I haven't got my nice Cthulhu dice out because they're in. Bear with me. Cheers, Christopher. Whatever you're doing, have a good one. I'm just going to get my Cthulhu dice because I like those. Those are our dice. And the Grendel's dice will be a couple of odd ones. Can you believe it? I can't find my D6's supply seems to have dwindled. They're probably all in my gaming bag. I just lumped them all in there for a Monday. I'll just show you my gaming bag. There we are. My gaming, that's my nerd bag. Currently got Call of Cthulhu stuff in because that's what I'm running on a Monday. And sure enough, in the bottom of the bag are D6s. And I'll get my dice tray as well. There we go. One of these weeks I will prepare properly. One of these weeks. Let's say one of the most important DM traits is preparation, organization. I'm not the worst DM in the world, but I'm probably the worst prepared. Okay, we're fighting Grendel. We have a combat rating of 12. Grendel has a combat rating of 8 because he's wounded. So he needs to beat us by 4. He's beaten us by 1, but that's not enough. But we might well be beating him in consecutive rounds here. This is all a bit of an anticlimax if we take Grendel down in consecutive rounds, which we do. Yes, Gene. I think one of your routines every Saturday is when we hear you clattering around looking for your dice. Because we do. Gene's not very quiet when he looks for his dice. If you win, turn to 191. We don't mind, though. We don't mind. The monster's corpse gapes open as it suffers the death stroke from the hard-swung sword. And with your final blow, you separate the head from the body. More light needed. It's better. Blood as thick and black as tar spurts from Grendel's severed neck. Where it has touched the blade of the ancient giant sword, the blood hisses, melting the steel with its acid touch, until the sword has dwindled into deadly icicles, and the war tool has wasted away, all except for its hilt. That was our sword. Oh. Now you understand the hag's purpose in recovering her son's arm. She was intending to raise Grendel to life again. But thanks to you, the monster is dead once more, as is its mother. Taking the monster's head up by the hair, you take your prize and prepare to leave the lake hag's lair. But you cannot ignore the fact that it's all manner of wonderful treasures heaped around. You'll not be able to carry much. But if you want to take something from the ogress's tiger hoard, say so. If not, say so. So, shall we loot the ogre's hoard, or shall we ignore the hoard and head straight back? Up to you in chat. Yeah, I mean, when I bought this microphone, I bought it because it recommended the sound quality. But I ignored the fact that the criticism was it picks up a lot of the surrounding sound. And I thought that wouldn't be too bad. I can move around and it picks up. The problem is it picks up outside, downstairs, doors closing, all that sort of stuff. Whereas I'd rather have it pick up me here. Because when I record videos on a Monday and Tuesday, the amount of times I have to stop for cars going past. The ice cream man, that's another routine that seems to happen. Next door, jet washing a drive, which she was doing this week, and all that sort of stuff. And people mixing concrete in the road, that's happened recently. But if I had a more direct microphone that just sort of picked up my voice here, it would be a lot easier. In fact, I would have finished my read through of Call of Cthulhu by now, because that's what I have to keep stopping on. Because if you're doing a audio book style read through, you've got to be clear. I'm currently 2/3 of the way through chapter 2. Right. Loot, 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 loot. Everyone, yeah, everyone wants to go loot. Okay. Although there must be a king's ransom in gold and jewels here, lying at the back of the cave, you choose an arm ring of twisted gold as a reward for yourself for slaying the monster and his mother. Add the golden arm ring to your equipment list. Golden arm ring. And record Desire's slave. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Well, your headphones cost £6. Marvelous. Marvelous. These ones I've just got, they were 42, and the microphone was about 70. Yeah. The things I spend on having a YouTube channel, eh? $231. Having decent quality equipment, it helps, and it helps with gaming and stuff. Hopefully the internet connection will be better as of this week. Although the engraved blade of the giant sword is gone, eaten away to nothing by the undead monster's wound sweat. That's a good term, isn't it? Wound sweat. We'll note that one down for use at some other time. Wound sweat. You take the richly ornamented hilt along with Grendel's head from the monster's hall. Having survived the onslaught of your enemies, you also take up your own discarded weapon once more. Right, okay, that would have been the rune sword. Before diving back into the lake, intending to return to the surface with all haste. Wound sweat. Could be slightly perverse. Right. You set to go swimming, striking up through the water. Both the deep reaches and the rough waves swirl, thoroughly cleansed. Now the creature from the other world no longer draws breath. Have we written Hero's Promise? Yes, we have. Got Hero's Promise. I turn to 270. The oath you swore to the dead warrior weighs heavily upon you. During your time in the domain of the Fen Witch, did you find what he asked you to look for? Oh. If so, you will have a number associated with each item. Multiply those numbers together now and turn to the section with the same number as the total. No. We didn't find the dead warrior's stuff. Okay. Finally making it out of the monster's lair, you return to the lakeshore only to find that the keen-hearted Shieldings and the kindly gold giver, their king, only to find that the keen-hearted Shieldings and the kindly gold giver, their king, have departed the cliffhead. I think there's a word missing there. Only your men remain, staring at the pool and sick at heart until they clap their eyes upon their beloved captain once more. Your company rushes to meet you, giving thanks to the gods to see you safe and sound. They quickly help you out of your armor whilst telling you that the wise men who watched with Hrothgar descried the blood of the broken water, marbling the surface. Seasoned warriors, grey-headed and experienced, they counseled the king, saying it seemed unlikely they would see the Geatish prince return triumphant, convincing him that the she-wolf had already done away with you. Then, reunited, you and your warrior band turn away from the lake, its waters sullied with the blood of monsters, and retrace your steps through the unforgiving fells, pacing the familiar paths back again, as bold as kings, carefree at heart now that your foes are dead. Carrying Grendel's head from the mere is no easy task, and it takes 4 of your men to do so, bearing it upon a spear, and in this manner your storm warriors transport your prize to the gold-gabled hall. Have we won? Have we won the book? And so at last your bold Geats march back into King Hrothgar's hall, curse-free Heorot, while his thanes are supping with you, their lord standing tall, with your head held high. For you are one who has dared to attempt incredible deeds, and having accomplished them, is now adorned with their glory. You present yourself before Hrothgar, and there is much rejoicing as the monster's head, held up by its lank locks, is manhandled into the mead hall, where the Danes are quaffing their master's mead. It is an ugly thing for Hrothgar's carls and his queen to behold, but an awesome sight nonetheless. Behold, you say, casting the hilt of the giant sword at the foot of the king's dais. What you see here, O son of Healfdene, prince of the Shieldlings, it was a pleasure to bring to your hall. For these tokens, this head and this hilt, are trophies taken from the lake as proof of the victory I have won over the monsters that festered there. The king and his thanes applaud your efforts. Nor did I easily survive the fight under the dark mere, you go on. I performed this deed not without a struggle, I assure you. Have we got... Yeah, we've got Wound Serpent recorded on our adventure sheet, so tells us to read that one associated with Wound Serpent. And what affronting, Unferth asks, jostling his way to the front of the crowd gathered to ogle the monster's head. Did it serve you well? Affronting could not harm the hag witch, you reply, and see Unferth's face fall at your revelation. As fine a weapon as it is, I accounted it formidable in the fight, a good friend in war, and I thank you for the loan of it. But now I return to you what is yours. Unferth accepts again the ancient heirloom. So we've given Hrunting back. Oh, it's the rune sword we've still got. Okay. Remove Hrunting from the equipment list, but gain a hero point. Okay, so we haven't won yet. There's more to go. There's more to go. But the gods be praised. I found a huge giant sword there among her treasure hoard, ancient and shining, and I snatched up the weapon. You tell Hrothgar and the assembled company. And so I slew the keepers of the hall. First the mother, and then the son, risen again from his stone-cold bed. The wave-patterned blade burnt away as Grendel's blood sprang forth, the hottest ever shed. But the hilt I took from this cave, you indicate the hilt now lying on the boards before Hrothgar. And thus I avenged the vile slaughter of your people. Now you may sleep in Heorot, free from the fear that the creatures of the other world might attack again. Your company of warriors, and every man, woman, and child of your tribe, O shield of the Shieldlings. With the demons fall, the golden hilt has passed into the possession of the white-haired warrior chieftain, the lord of the Danes, this wonder worked by giant smiths. Hrothgar gazes upon that relic before he speaks, for there upon the gold, marked out in ancient runes, is the name of the sword, that finest of war tools, that with spiral hilt and serpent bladed. Oh, hold on. The name, it's written in runes, and I can't understand it. I'm going to get rid of this background. I'm sorry. I thought this background would be nice, but no, I need to show you pictures. Get rid of the virtual background so you can see my crappy room. There we go. There's my crappy room. Now I can show you pictures. There, that's the name of the sword. Those runes. I don't know what they say. And when the king speaks, the hall is silent. This man was born to be the best of men, Hrothgar declares, addressing everyone within the hall of the heart. Friend Beowulf, your name shall resound in all the distant nations of the earth, and I shall make good my promises and reward you richly. But then I must let you return to your own people, across the Whale Road to the lands beyond the sea, where you'll be a long-standing comfort and bulwark to those heroes. If only our former king, Heremod, had borne his great strength so peaceably. No, you're more akin to Sigmund, who since the hand and heart of Heremod grew slack in battle, had of all heroes the highest renown among the races of men in this refuge of warriors for deeds of daring that bedecked his name. Gain 3 hero points. But come, Beowulf, the king says, take your place at the bench and rejoice in the feast, and in the morning we shall divide between us many treasures. Right, we have a choice now. We have a choice. Down to 7 in chat for that long bit. We did have 10. But, okay. So, a choice. Ask Hrothgar to tell you the story of King Heremod. Ask to hear more about Sigmund's heroic deeds, or join the feast with your men. So Heremod, Sigmund, or feast with your men. Those are the 3 choices. Three votes, 3 different things. Right, we have 2 for Heremod. Three for Heremod, 1 for Feast, 1 for Sigmund. It looks like it's going Heremod's way. Any other votes? Hello, Roland. How are you doing? Going for Feast. We've got 6 votes. It says there's 7 in chat, so there's 1 not yet voted. Heremod can't be beaten, but can be equaled. Oh, up to 8 in chat. Hello, whoever just turned up. Right, I'm going to go with Heremod because that's one with 3 votes. Ask Hrothgar to tell you the story of King Heremod. I'm assuming it's pronounced Heremod. I will have a quick look. It's not in there. Not in there. Heremod's rule brought not pleasure but a plague upon our people, Hrothgar begins, and death and destruction to the Danish tribes. In his fits he would cut down his comrade in war and his table companion alike, until that famous prince turned away from the feastings of men. Inwardly his heart hoard grew raw and bloodthirsty. No rings did he give to the Danes for his mind's worth, and he lived as an outcast, paying the penalty for his persecution of his people. Does like his alliteration, doesn't he? Paying the penalty for his persecution of his people, by having to endure a life of sorrow. Learn from this, beloved Beowulf. Practice generosity. Put away arrogance, for the noon of your strength shall last for now, but in a little time sickness or a sword will strip it from you all too soon. So it is with myself. I shepherded the Ring Danes for 50 years, defending them in war with ash and with edge, over the earth's breadth, against many nations, until I numbered at last not a single adversary beneath the sky's expanse. But what change of fortune befell me at my hearth with the coming of Grendel? Grief sprang from joy when the faint-hearted foe entered our golden hall of Heorot. Great was the pain that persecution thrust upon me. Record hard-won wisdom on your character sheet. Okay. Hard-won wisdom. But come now, says the king, take your place at the bench. Okay. Another choice here. Shall we say, let's hear about Sigmund, or shall we just take our seat as the king wants? So ask about the tales of Sigmund, or take our seat at the feast. But do you wonder wantonly? Or do you wander wantonly, wishing for women? Across wild, wispy, willowy, Don't know. Don't know. Waters. So 3 people so far voted for Sigmund. Anybody else going to vote? Cast your votes. We've got to vote for Feast. A feast filled with frothing fermentations. Flagons of feisty firewater. Looks like Sigmund's winning. Looks like Sigmund's winning. Sigmund's on 4. Only Iman has gone for the feast. A filling feast fit for a fatso. Right, Sigmund's won then. Sigmund's won. 165. O King, forestall your feast, for I wish to hear more tales. Very well, says the king, but take your place at the feast, and I will command the skald to sing the lay of Sigmund. And I've just dropped something on the floor. What was that? What was that? Don't know. No, I don't know. Something's just fallen on the floor. Oh well. Oh well. You and your warriors join the Danes at the feast, while the poet takes up his harp and recites the legend of Sigmund. But as the telling continues, the wondrous exploits of the father are soon exceeded by those of his son, Sigurd the Worm Slayer, and the last of the Volsungs. You remember how the Dverga Regin wanted revenge against the worm Fafnir, who had murdered his father and stolen his family's gold. That was a gift from the gods, sings the skald. And you remember how the young warrior Sigurd of the Volsung clan promised he would slay the worm if the dwarf would forge a sword for him that was worthy of the task. And remember how Sigurd took the pieces of his father's broken sword, shattered by Odin the All-Father himself, and gave them to Regin, who forged from them a new sword, Gram, which means wrath in the old tongue, that cut through the weaponsmith's anvil. Then let me tell you how Sigurd best Fafnir, the worm, in battle. Oh, make a note of our current agility, combat, and endurance. Right. So we're going to do this again, where we do a sort of fake battle. It's bothering me what I've dropped on the floor. It feels like it might have gone in the bin. Meh. I don't think anything valuable is on here. Nothing valuable on my desk as it is anyway. Right. Turn to 11. You are Sigurd, son of Sigmund, and last of the Volsungs, a warrior of Denmark. After Regin the Dverga forged the sword Gram for you, you assembled an army of warriors and took the Whale Road with them, sailing to the sovereign lands of King Lingvi. A series of bloody battles followed in which you avenged your father's death and put an end to an ancient blood feud by striking down all your foes and winning great renown. You finally returned to Denmark, a true-blooded warrior. So says gain 3 endurance, 1 combat, and 1 agility. Soon after your return, Regin came to you and reminded you of your promise to slay Fafnir, and so the very next day the two of you rode out together, man and dwarf, in search of the worm. Wirm. Day after day, Regin leads you through empty lands where no one dwells, until finally you come upon a lonely heath. There you spy a track formed of withered plants and worn earth that leads to a stinking, stagnant pool. The track is wide, and the extent of the blackened grass and withered plants causes you to wonder as to the size of the beast that made it, thoughts you express to Regin. Do not fear, the dwarf says. Dig a pit in the ground and wait within until the worm passes over you. Then you can attack from underneath. However, having proposed such a plan, Regin rides off to find somewhere to hide. Right. Choice. Do we start digging, as the dwarf suggests, or do we try to find somewhere else to hide? Dig or somewhere else? Oh, I know what I've dropped. It's one of my little juice things. I had 4 on the end there, and now I only have 3. On the floor somewhere. So, do we dig, as the dwarf suggested, or do we prefer to find somewhere else to hide? Up to you, chat. I'm going to see if I can find my juice. Yes. More beer. I finished my tea. I'll have a tea as well if you're making, Jane. Oh, we've got 3 going for dig, 1 going for somewhere else. Anybody else want to be voting? I failed to find the thing which fell on the floor. The thing which fell on the floor was a, trying to alliterate, bottle of vape juice. It's kiwi, passion fruit, and guava. I've got itchy nose. Right, digging. We're digging. 92. Taking up the shovel left to you by the weaponsmith, under a sky the colour of beaten metal, you start to dig. It is tiring, back-breaking work, even for a warrior as mighty as you. As you are digging, you see something coming along the road towards you. But it is not the worm. It is an old man with a long white beard and a patch over one eye. You pause in your labour, and he asks what you're doing. Do we tell the old man what we're doing, or do we not tell him? Tell him or not tell him? An old man with an eye patch. Is this Odin? Don't tell, not tell. But 2-2 at the moment. 2-2. 2 not trusting him, 2 trusting him. The next vote will break the tie. But we have 4 in chat who've not yet voted. There's Roland with a tell. So at 3-2 now for telling him. Looks like telling is winning. There's no more votes incoming. Right, telling turned to 149. You see no harm in telling the old man of your plan to kill the worm. After a moment's pondering, looking at the pit, in a voice cracked with age, he says, rather than just one pit, you should try digging a series of ditches. That way the worm's blood will be able to flow away freely and not drown you in your pit. Right, do we follow the old man's advice, or do we stick to the dwarf's advice? So old man or dwarf? And I've got a doggy. Hello, pup. Doggy's got a very waggy tail.
Sorry?
Old man's advice.
Who's happy? So I'm a bit frustrated. I'm also quite.
We're at 1-1 for old man and dwarf at the moment. My doggy's having some fuss. So you take your time voting because doggy's enjoying this. Doggy's enjoying this. Daniel votes for dwarf. Thief Keith says old man. Go and get the mist. Go on. Go on. Get him. Get him. We're voting 2-2 at the moment. We have a tie again. That was my dog snorting. We're at 2-2 still. Need this tie broken. Hello, Jane. I bet he's never heard that one before. Jane, the wife, singing Daydream Believer, as in cheer up, sleepy Jane. So you've never heard that one before. But no, Roland, none of us have got a clue. Right, Mercurius has gone for dwarf. So three people reckon we follow the dwarf's advice and 2 say the old man's advice. Okay, that's what we'll go with. We'll go with the dwarf's advice. 1, 3, 4. Wishing you well, the old man goes on his way and you get back to work until, at long last, the pit is dug. 226. Having finished digging, you climb down into the hole to wait, with only the whistling of the wind to keep you company on the desolate heath. Time passes, and there's still no sign of Fafnir. Do you want to continue to wait, crouched in the ditch, or shall we climb out of the pit and go in search of the worm? Wait in the ditch, or climb out of the pit and go in search of the worm? Again, over to you, chat. Lots of choices now.
No, John. What?
Okay, so we've got only Thief Keith being patient and waiting. 4 people want to climb out of the pit and go to find the worm. Daniel, you're in your Kelsey persona tonight. I think we need a an exclamation mark. Daniel. Don't know if this is working tonight. Is it working? Yes, it is. I'll never cease finding these silly little things funny. I need to make some more of those. Okay, go in search of the worm. 372. Ass hats. The instant you emerge from the pit, you feel a tremor pass through the ground, followed by another and another, as something large approaches your position. The shroud-like mist covering the heath part, and you see the worm Fafnir for the first time. The monster is terrible to behold as it crawls towards you, dragging its body low on 4 heavy legs, a body that is covered with armored scales, and as it advances, with every reeking breath, it spews out a noxious cloud of sulphurous gas that causes the plants it touches to wither down to their roots. The creature may be slow, but it will be hard to avoid the toxic cloud that goes before it. Okay, take an agility test. We have maximum agility, so we can't fail it. Turn to 437. Holding your breath, you roll out of the path of the noxious cloud. Scrambling to your feet again, you prepare to fulfill your oath to the Dverga Regin. The worm comes for you as you prepare to strike it dead with the faithful war-tooth Gram. Okay. We have to fight Fafnir. It's not as hard as I thought it would be, but it's still a bit of a risk. 8-2, we've won the first round. 7-5, we've won the second round. 2-10, oh, we've just lost that round. Fafnir wins a combat round, roll a d6. If the number rolled is odd, you must lose an additional 1 endurance point. Okay. Yes, it is. We've hit it twice. 9-10, skill advantage makes us win that one. So we hit it 3 times. 10-9, 4, 4-6. That's 16-14, win that one. 7-7. We've beaten Fafnir. Things have got quite low combat skill in this book. You're supposed to win the fights, I think. Feeling its life slipping away with its last breath, the worm suddenly gasps. You have bested me, warrior, and for releasing me from my self-imposed curse, I reward you. Ride away from this place and leave my treasure hoard untouched, for if you take even one piece from the hoard, a great doom will find you. With that, the mighty worm dies. Pulling Gram from the worm's body, you wipe the bloody blade on the withered grass of the heath. As you are returning the sword to its sheath, Regin the dwarf rides up and gazes at the monster's corpse with greedy eyes. Since it was I who forged the blade that killed the worm, he says hungrily, might I have the honor of eating its heart? The Dverga is right. Without his help and Gram in your hand, you doubt you could have slain Fafnir. Did he really help all that much? He wants to eat its heart. Hello, Straw Piglet. It would be my honour, you tell the dwarf, and I will even cook it for you. And so you prepare a fire and set the worm's heart on a spit over it to roast. In time, you put your finger to the heart to see if it is cooked, but burn yourself. Without thinking, you stick your finger in your mouth to cool the burn, and in doing so, taste the monster's blood. Suddenly hearing the twitter of voices, you turn to see 4 birds hopping about on the heath, brave now that the beast is dead, but unbelievably you can understand what the birds are saying. You cannot trust the dwarf, says one of them, clearly addressing you. He plans to eat the heart to gain wisdom and the power of prophecy, twitters another. Then he will murder you and steal Fafnir's treasure, chirps a third. Better you should eat the heart yourself and do away with your treacherous companion, whistles the fourth. You look across the fire at Regin to see the truth of what the birds have told you in his eyes. So taking the wrathful blade Gram from its scabbard, once more you strike the dwarf's head from his shoulders before eating the worm's heart yourself. Leaving the bodies of Regin and Fafnir behind, you mount your horse and ride to the worm's lair, where you find a king's ransom in gold and jewels. Ignoring the worm's talk of curses, you load everything, every last coin and gem onto your horse and head for home. Gain 3 hero points. Okay. And make a note of the fact that 4 birds saved life. Okay. So this is what Sigmund did. Okay. And so ends the saga of Sigurd. It was Sigmund. Last of the Volsungs. Oh, it's Sigmund's son, isn't it? Last of the Volsungs, announces the skald with one final flourish, rippling his harp strings. Restore your agility, combat endurance to the levels they were before the poet started his recitation, and then turn to 89. Guessing he brought a curse upon the people. As before, as guests of the hall, you are treated to a glorious feast. Our endurance goes up to maximum, which is 30. But while you're enjoying Hrothgar's meat and ale, Unferth approaches in his cups once again. I challenge you, Beowulf, he roars, and the hall falls silent, to a battle of riddles. Anxious silence is replaced by relieved laughter as the nature of Unferth's challenge is revealed. If you good-humouredly accept Unferth's challenge, do we accept or don't we accept a battle of riddles with Unferth? Up to you, chat. 12 people. So we see if we get 12 votes. You heated the huge heart and helped the horrible head off the dwarf's body. Off the humanling's body. Humanling. Half human. It's half-sized. The options are riddles or no riddles. Mercurius Olicus doesn't want to go for riddles. Fief Keef and Jeb both do. Definitely leaning towards riddles, aren't we? It's only Mercurius who doesn't want the riddles. Six have accepted. So with 12 in chat, that's a win. Right. If you good-humouredly accept Unferth's challenge, turn to 455. Very well, friend Unferth, you declare with good cheer. I accept your challenge. Then here is my first, Unferth says, clearing his throat. I'll fight with the wind and war with the wave, but if stones hold me firm, the ship I'll save. What am I? So I'll fight with the wind and war with the wave, but if stones hold me firm, the ship I'll save. What am I? It's up to you, chat, to solve this. It's not multiple choice. Okay. Right. You think it's anchor. Right. So what we need to do is take the letters of the alphabet, with A being 1, B being 2, C being 3, and so on, and add the numbers together. So A is 1, C is 3, we've got H, N, O, R. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. H is 8. What are N, O, and R? 14, 15, 18, 12, 26. I get a total of 59. Is that, do you all agree with that? Does 59 sound right? Okay, Iman agrees. Let's make a new silly answer that makes the same number. Is there an anagram of anchor? Roach. If you cannot solve the riddle, or the section you turn to makes no sense when you read it, turn to 487. It makes no sense because this one says dragon, you say out loud, and immediately feel the blood quicken in your veins. We didn't say dragon, we said anchor. Does that also add up to 59? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make sense. So I don't think anchor was the right answer. No. 487. For the life of you cannot think of an answer to Unferth's riddle. Do we have Loki's favour? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Turn to 3. Loki's favour. Loki likes us. The trickster must be smiling upon you, for suddenly, just when you thought Unferth had beaten you, the answer to the riddle comes to you, and you announce it with such a shout that it echoes from the gable ends of the hall. It doesn't tell us what the answer is. Now try this, friend Unferth, you say, before issuing your own riddle challenge. I yearn to have what I had last night, though it injures men and hinders each. The work of bees is my delight, though it hurts heads and elevates speech. What is it? Yes, dragon is 59. It wasn't the right answer to that riddle. Didn't make sense. Unferth stares at you blankly with unfocused eyes. I don't know, he concedes at last. The answer is mead, you declare, taking a drinking horn from the table. Mead, you say, as you approach the defeated Unferth kinslayer. Mead, you laugh, as you empty the contents of the cup over his head. I win, you declare in your triumph, while Unferth skulks away to find a place to sit at the other end of the hall. Gain a hero point. Thank you, Loki. Gain 1 hero point and turn to 58. Steadily the night's darkness grows, and King Hrothgar's bodyguards rise to escort their leader, the grey-haired shieldling, from the hall. And you're ready to go to your bed too, after a day's exertions, brave bondsman that you are. Fight-wearied, you take your rest, Hrothgar ensuring that all your wants, such as might be required of a seafaring warrior, are provided for. This night you sleep within the wide-gabled hall, until Raven's crow comes as dawn gilds the sky. With Heorot's curse lifted, you desire to see your homeland again. You and your storm warriors rise with the sun, eager to set off, wishing to forge far in your ship. We are indeed sore winners. Hello, John. When your company is prepared, your fighting men armed and ready for the journey, you quit the hall and make your way to the stony beach where the sea wolf lies waiting and renewed. Your spirit warrior band is graciously greeted by the coast warden. As he rides down from the cliff top to meet them, he declares how pleased the Stormfolk will be to see the brave warriors return again in their shining armour. As you're preparing to set sail, the lord of this land rides down to the shore on his gold-bridled steed, and you, Beowulf, Beast Slayer, the joy of the Danes, hail the grey-haired king. In your hall we were royally treated, and you, noble Hrothgar, have entertained us well. But we seafarers keenly desire to return to our king Hythelak in Geatland. And if I ever hear that the neighbouring tribes mean you harm, I'll bring 1,000 thanes to aid you in your hour of need. Hrothgar answers you then, Dear Beowulf, you are rich in strength and wise beyond your years, and if spear, sword, or sickness should ever take the life of your sovereign lord, your kinsmen, the Stormfolk of Geatland could not find a better man to be their king and guard their war hoard than you. Then Healfdene's son, hoary Hrothgar, shield of the Spear Danes, presents you with 12 new treasures from his strongbox. Having embraced the old man, who is like a second father to you now, you take your leave of the king, and despite your protestations, you know in your heart of hearts you will never see each other again. That ocean wanderer, your proud ship, the Sea Wolf, is riding at anchor, waiting for her master, eager to be away over the Whale's Way. The wide sea boat with soaring prow is loaded with battle raiment, war horses, and arms, but the mast still rises high above the gift hoard. With every remaining member of your party on board, the Sea Wolf divides the deep water, leaving Denmark behind. A special sail is hoisted, bearing the image of the Beowulf, the bear, and belayed to the mast, and beams speak then. A special sail is hoisted, bearing the image of the Beowulf, the bear, and belayed to the mast, and the beams speak then. The wind does not hinder the wave-skimming ship as it runs across the sea, but the Sea Wolf, with foam at its throat, fills back the waves. But as you ride the waves, you hear again the last words the sea hag's head spoke as she died. Suffer the fury of fire and flood, and may the sea tide turn red with your blood. How many of the following have you recorded on your adventure sheet? Desire's slave, yes. The sea hag's curse, yes. Helruna's curse. We haven't got Helruna's curse, but we have got Desire's slave and Sea Hag's curse. 2, 4, 6, 7. If you have Loki's favour or Njord's favour, we've got both. Turn to 36. Okay. Your ship's ring-bound prow planing the waters on the second day after leaving the land of the Danes, you catch sight of the cliffs and headlands you know so well. The hull of the Sea-Wolf drives ahead, urged by the breeze, and beaches on the shore. The harbour guard is waiting at the water's edge, having scoured the stretches of the great sea flood ever since you left, hoping to one day espy the returning host of heroes. Now he moors your broad-ribbed boat in the sand, held fast with hawsers, so no heft of the waves should drive that trusted vessel to the flood once more. He has your hero's hoard brought ashore, while you go to meet your long-missed lord, Hythelak. Let me check the pronunciation of that. I think it's Hythelak. Oh no, Huyalak. At the hall where he dwells, with his own hero band, hard by the sea wall. It is a handsome hall, but nothing like Hrothgar's gold-gabled Heorot. High within it sits King Huyalak, son of Hrethel, and a warrior of great courage, with his consort, Queen Huyad. The news of your return has already reached the chieftain king. The shield of warriors, his own battle companion Beowulf, has returned from Hrothgar's kingdom alive and fated, as a noble hero should be. Yes, Loki has turned out to be a really good ally. Huyalak welcomes you warmly. A feast is prepared, and you sit facing the king, kinsman to kinsman, while Huyad carries the mead horn about the hall, presenting it to each of your storm warriors in turn. Curiosity burning within him, Huyalak presses you to tell him of your adventures in the land of the Spear Danes. And so you tell your lord of the battle with the archfiend Grendel, and after the mother's monster sought revenge for her son being death taken by Gert Warspite. How you penetrated the monster's lair, there to slay Grendel's dam, while the world's candle sinks below the sea horizon to the west. The tale concluded, you tell your uncle king, the lord of the Shieldings, bestowed upon me many treasures. Oh, the lord of the Shieldings bestowed upon me many treasures, which now, brave king, I give to you. Joy for me lies in the giving, and I have little family in the world, Huyalak, beside yourself. You bid the harbour guard bring in all the gifts the generous ring giver Hrothgar gave to you, and Huyalak rewards you just as richly. He lays a royal sword, bright gleaming Nagling. We've got a new sword called Nagling. In your lap, and bestows upon you an estate of 7,000 hides, a chief's stool, and a hall of your own. So we've got the sword Nagling. Still going. This book is still going. I have seen some entries as well, which is where we appear to be playing the part of Grendel. So there might be another run through where you play as Grendel. It comes to pass after Huyalak falls fighting the Frisians and his son heir Hedred. I think it's Hedred. It's not there, so it's going to be Hedred. Your cousin dies in battle against Onala, king of the Swedes. The throne of the kingdom of the Stormfolk comes in turn to you, and you become King Beowulf Beastslayer. For half a century, you rule your people wisely, defending them against attacks from the Swedes, Frisians, and Franks. And while the oaths of friendship you swore with the Spear Danes endure until you have grown grey in your guardianship of the land. Restore your agility, combat, endurance scores to the levels they were when you first embarked upon this adventure, and cross off any meals you may have remaining. Okay. So we're back to 10, 10, 22. Okay. Right, we have an option. Here. I'm guessing it's like leather hides. It says here, at the cost of 1 hero point each to a maximum. Okay, do we want to spend hero points to reboost our agility, our combat, and our endurance? we've got 16 hero points. We can spend up to 6 to add extra points to agility, combat, and endurance. It's up to you lot. I'm guessing there's going to be another fight to happen. Do you want to do that? Do you want to boost anything? So it's up to you, chat, to decide. Spend hero points to boost agility, combat, and endurance. Gene reckons we do. Boost. Well, I thought the book was about to finish, so obviously there's still something to go. So we're not depleted at all. We've just been dropped to our original levels, which are agility 10, combat 10, and endurance 22. So I'm guessing there's still something to go. We've got 16 hero points, which seems like a lot. So we can go back. We can go up to 11, 11, 26 as maximums, which I think might be a bit safer. Boosting is for noobs. We've gone all this way. I don't want to die now. So we're back. We're up to 11, 11, 26, and we've got 10 hero points. That's fine. That's fine. As the icy grip of winter seizes hold of the land, the Geats gather at year's end, and a great feast is held in celebration of the occasion you became king of the Stormfolk. Warm inside your hall, with all manner of meat roasting over the cook fires, your people eat, drink, and are merry, as your skald sings the lay of Beowulf, relating your battles with the monster Grendel and his mother, and how you defeated them both in the shadow of the misty fells of Denmark. Mead is drunk aplenty, while the hall servants parade great platters of steaming flesh before your table. Which meat shall we have? Which meat shall we have? Shall we have venison? Shall we have boar? Or shall we have salmon? Venison, boar, or salmon? What would you like, chat? Oh, Mage, you're here. Hello. Right, we've got 3 for boar, 1 for venison, 1 for salmon. 4 for boar, 1 for venison, 1 for salmon. 15 people in chat now. Where's everyone coming from? Hello. Four boar, 2 venison, 1 salmon at the moment. Oh, wow. We're at 422 at the moment, though. So 4 boar, 2 venison, 2 salmon. Straw Piglet, they're going for the boar. I think. Does this work? Did I do it with this? Or did I do Piglet? No, that hasn't worked. I did add. I can't remember what I put as the command. Oh, there we go. Little oink. Okay. Hello, Palmetto. I think we're going for boar. We're going for boar. Manfred does get the big oink. Yes, yes. The ferocity and strength of the wild boar makes such animals worthy adversaries for the hunt, and the prize, when the battle with the beast is won, is meat that is rich and delicious, and one that imparts part of the boar's fighting frenzy into the one who dines upon it. I ate wild boar once. Didn't give me any fighting frenzy. So we gained 4 endurance points and 1 combat point. Okay, there we go. Turn to 390. While you're enjoying your meal, the evening's celebrations are interrupted by the arrival of your cousin Wiglaf. He advances through the hall, kicking a wretched slave before him. What is the meaning of this? You demand of the young prince. I beg your forgiveness for interrupting the night's festivities, the Thane begins, but I have dire news. Tell it then, you command. You were never one to shy from dire revelations. This luckless slave has brought a curse upon all of our heads, Wiglaf says, and casts a golden cup, a jeweled drinking vessel the like of which you've never seen, at your feet. Where did you get this? You ask, picking it up and marveling at the craftsmanship of the guildsmith who made it. Record the golden goblet on your equipment list. Golden goblet. Started writing goblin goblet then. Answer the king, Wiglaf barks, giving the slave another savage kick. Tell him what you've done. There is a high barrow raised above the moor, my lord, the wretch stammers. And what were you doing there, you demand, in a voice that is barely more than a growl. The sin-tormented soul had run from a flogging, Wiglaf interjects. He hoped to flee and never return. I would have returned, master, the slave protests. But as I say, there is a barrow mound, such as the ancient kings used to raise. A narrow access leads underground. Seeking shelter from the ice and snow, I felt my way inside, and that is where I found the treasure cup. Tell the king what else you found, Wiglaf snaps. Nice picture to show you. I did not know the treasure was guarded, but as soon as I realized that it was, I was seized with sudden terror and fled. Engrossed by the runaway slave's tale, you ask him to elaborate further, pressing him for more information. But what do you want to ask him first? Okay. Do we ask him, what is this? Right. Do we ask him about the barrow? Do we ask him why he took the treasure cup? Or do we ask him what was guarding the hoard? So, ask him about the barrow, ask him why he took the cup, or ask him what was guarding the hoard. Those are your choices. What a mumbling, miserable man. What a wicked wretch. What is your favourite colour? What was guarding? Why the cup? 3 for the guardian, 1 for why. So, what's the barrow like? Why do you take the cup? Or what was guarding it? Another vote for what was guarding it. So it's 4-1 now. So it's a dragon impression. Rawr. Best thing about these, I get them for free. Looks like Guarding is winning. Guarding is winning. Roland has added a sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-1 now. So, Jean has confirmed Guarding. So 6 for Guarding. Right. What did you find? Guarding the Horde. Great. Oh. A dragon, such as in the legends of old, sleeps within the barrow, its coiled body encircling the Horde, whimpers the slave. Or at least it did, Wiglaf wails. The guardian might have been caught sleeping by this cunning cup thief, but it sleeps no longer, and in fury at discovering its loss, had roused itself and left the barrow seeking revenge. Fire has been seen in the north, a forest burnt to ash by its furious flame rage. The dragon has woken from its sleep of centuries and is heading this way, seeking the wretch who stole from its hoard. The situation is dire indeed. Never have your people needed their strong defender more than now. Will you order your men to move against the Ravager without delay, or will you wait within your hall and prepare for the dragon's coming? Okay. Do we order my men, to go against it, or shall we wait within the hall to prepare for it to come? The artist for this book is Russ Nicholson, in case you were wondering. I think it's the last book he ever did. Russ Nicholson of Fiend Folio fame. Yes, all the illustrations are Russ Nicholson. We're at 2-2 at the moment. 2 people want to go out against it. 2 people want to wait. Thief Keith says go out, so that's now 3-2. Ooh. But I'll wait for a few more votes to come in. In no hurry. I forgot how long the original Beowulf story is. I thought the book might finish. But no, we have a dragon to defeat. This bumbling buffoon has brought bad times to our boisterous banquet and beautiful beds. The salacious slave stole sparkling silverware. Cheers, John. Attack! Okay, so it looks like we are going to move against it. So Silly slave stole some shining shillings. You set out with your entourage, a dozen of your finest warriors, to engage the flame spewer before it can ever reach your royal seat. Mounted upon your barded war steeds, you ride hard into the encroaching darkness, into the icy teeth of the bitter wind. And then you see the winged monster as it swims through the gloom, enfolded in flame, as it flies across the sky, far out of reach of your bows and good intentions. As your horses gallop along the northern road, the dragon descends upon your hall. There is nothing you can do but watch, horror writ large upon your face, and a rage that burns as hot as a dragon's breath within your heart, as the evil creature douses your hall and the houses of your carles with flame, razing them to the ground. When all is aflame, from your high-gabled hall to the proud stockade and settlement that surrounds it, the shimmering scaled monster flies back to its barrowed cave lair on wings underlit by the fires left in its wake. Dull indeed. Now it is you, Beowulf, beast slayer, whose heart burns with a desire for revenge. You and your men ride northwards, towards the domination of the dragon, the desolation birthed by its burning breath. And there, upon the snow-clad moors, you come upon a shrine to the newest god to claim possession of the souls of the people of this land, the Roman god, known to those who venerate him as the Lord, the cross atop the chapel's wooden roof, free of snow. The servants of the Lord believe the dragon to be an incarnation of the devil, a demon that now lays claim to hell's dominions. Do we stop and pray at this shrine, or do we keep riding for the dragon's lair? Right, so the land has become Christian. Do we stop and pray at this shrine, or do we keep riding for the dragon's lair? Okay. Ooh, 3-2 now. 3 for pray, 2 for keep riding. Any more votes coming in? We have 3 for pray, 2 to keep riding. I hope the book doesn't go into that sort of detail, Straw Piglet. Jean says pray, so we're now 4 pray. Four, 3 could still change. Any more votes? Okay, we are stopping to pray. Daniel. What's happened, chat? What has Straw Piglet done to chat? Right. You enter the lightless chapel alone, and lighting a tallow candle there, kneel before the icon of the Lord, nailed to a tree. You beseech the Lord to help you defeat this devil, which has taken the form of a dragon in this, your greatest hour of need. But has he heard your heartfelt prayers? Only time will tell. Record the Lord's favour on your adventure sheet, but cross off any other favours you may have recorded there. The Lord is the only God, and you shall have no other gods before him. Okay, so we've lost Njord's favour, Odin's favour, we've lost Loki's favour. Oh, we turned our back on Loki, who has been so helpful for us. Leaving the chapel behind, you and your brave warriors ride on, crossing the moors where the gorse and bilberry bushes have been burnt by the serpent's rage. You come to a place that was once a forest, before the dragon's ire stripped the trees of their leaves and left them as stark black monuments to their former glory. And then the dragon takes flight once again, sensing your presence within the bounds of its dominions and seeking to rid itself of such an irritation. At its coming, your band of hand-picked companions, faint of heart in the presence of the monster serpent, do not stand as battle usage expects, but escape to the withered wood. All but one. Faithful Wiglaf remains at your side as the dragon hunts those that have fled from you through the burnt forest. The cowardly Oathbreaker's dead, roasted by the serpent's tongues of flame. Before being devoured by the creature, the worm returns to its cave to sleep. The only ones among your hunting party left alive, you and Wiglaf make your way to the mound of earth, wherein the Guardian and its horde have lain for so many generations unmolested. The bonds of kinship are strong between you, for Wiglaf is Weohstan's son, well-loved shieldsman, and Shilfing prince. But it is for this reason you cannot bear to see him, another of your kinsmen, fall to the wrath of this ravager. The burden of this battle lies upon my shoulders, you tell Wiglaf. It is only my mind's worth that needs to be tested this day. As a Geatish prince of your hall, I have sworn blood oaths to you, King Beowulf. My life is yours to do with as you will, is Wiglaf's response. I do not fear for my own life, you impress upon him. Battles aplenty have I survived, and valiant in all dangers have I come through many clashes since the cleansing of bright Heorot. But I would not have another risk himself in battle against this fell hall burner. Forgive me, my lord, but I will see how this worm torments you, and recalling the many favours you have bestowed upon me, the rich dwelling place of the Waymondings, confirming me as hold of the land rights my father once held. I would be nothing without you. To stand by your side now at the time of your greatest need would be as sweet to me as the mead served in your royal hall. Here we have a choice. Do we allow Wiglaf to accompany us, or do we stand firm and deny him his wish? Wiglaf or no Wiglaf? Those are your choices. Up to you, chatty types. Okay, 3 for accepting him. Wiggy. Right. I think this is unanimous, isn't it? That's, yeah, everyone's going for Wiggly. Okay, come on then, Wiggly. You're coming with us. Relenting at last, you give Wiglaf permission to join you in entering the dragon's earthen hall. Beloved Beowulf, the young prince says, bear all things well. You gave it out long ago that living you would not allow your glory to ever abate. Bold-tempered chieftain, you who are famed for your deeds, and you must defend now your own life with your strength, and I shall aid you. Right, Shield Prince. Okay, we have Shield Prince. And make a note, if you ever come across a section number with a symbol of a helmet beneath it, well, add 20. Okay. Helmet symbol plus 20. Okay. Now turn to 70. So I've got to look out for the helmet symbol. I'll probably forget it when I see it. The barrow looms before you, big as a hill, a monument to a king long since dead, his name forgotten. Skirting the perimeter of the mound, you find an entrance to the cairn, a stone archway half hidden where the part of the hill has crumbled and overgrown with long grass. However, a well-worn goat track leads from the barrow down towards the edge of the headland where the pagan burial hall stands. Following the track, you crane your neck to peer over the edge of the cliff and see the entrance to a cave in the sea-washed wall below. It would appear that there is more than one way to enter the dragon's lair. Okay, we have an option. Do we enter by the main entrance, or do we risk climbing down the cliff face to the cave mouth? Main entrance or climb down to the cave mouth? Up to you. Do we go through the front door or the back door? There's a name I haven't heard for a long time, Dirk the Daring. Okay, everyone's saying we climb down. All right. Climbing down the cliff to the cave mouth, 94. Ensuring that your sword and shield are slung securely across your back, you begin your descent, buffeted by the wind and drenched by the showers of sea spray. Make an endurance test. Yeah, pass by miles. 22. It's got a helmet. We add 20 to this. So we're to 42 instead of 22. Against all the odds, you make it to the cave mouth in the cliff face. Wiglaf makes the descent as well and joins you there at the entrance to the cave. Swords in hand, you pass from the icy wind and freezing sea spray into the chill darkness of the dragon's lair. Together. Turn to 388. The cave becomes a tunnel large enough to admit an ancient fire-breathing worm. But as you head further along the natural passageway, surrounded by walls of stratified rock, you find your way blocked by a cascading stream. Water pours from an opening in the roof and rushes along a channel that cuts across the floor of the cave to disappear into a yawning fissure on the other side. To proceed any further, we either have to leap across the stream or wade through it. Do we leap across it or do we wade through? Leap the stream or wade through the stream? Those are your choices. Good evening, Hunger. How are you? How are you? Gird your loins, everyone. He's here to kick you in the nuts. The mighty Hunger, the one and only Starvarian, is here to help us slay the dragon at the end of Beowulf. Everyone reckons we leap. Leap. Okay. 208. 208 to leap the stream. Muscles tensing, you attempt to leap over the cascade stream. Oh, sorry, I just cluttered the microphone. Take an agility test, which I've just done, and our agility is 11. So we've passed easily. 2, 4, 8. 1 in 36 chance of failing. Didn't happen. Performing a mighty salmon leap, you cross the stream. Turn to 32. 32 has a helmet at the top of it, so we go to 52 instead. Hopefully Wiggy's passed it okay. Wiglaf joins you, safe on the other side. We cannot be far from the hoard hall of that murder glutton serpent king, he says, his hushed voice still seeming uncomfortably loud as it echoes from the walls of the cave tunnel. Then we must prepare ourselves for the battle to come, you reply. Now would be a good time to eat some provisions. Wiglaf has a flask of ipocras, a spiced wine infused with herbs, which acts as a powerful restorative, which he shares with you. Gain, we're at maximum of those already. Oh, we gain a hero point. Okay. We're now at 12, 12, 30, and 11 hero points. He's indeed an old school henchman. You must decide which sword you want to use to challenge the dragon, as you will not be able to change weapons during the battle. We've got nagling. I think we use nagling. Nagling? Yeah. We have got a rune sword as well, but I think nagling is going to be the one. Yes. You'd all probably say needling, but it is officially pronounced nagling, and it is spelt like this. It's the pronunciation thing at the back. Yeah, nagling. $411. Which sword have you chosen to wield in battle? If it is your trusted sword nagling, turn to 351. If you have chosen a dragon slaying sword, you will know its name. No, we haven't, because yeah, we were given that sword, weren't we, with all the runes on it, and we didn't know what the runes meant. We never found out what the runes meant. We're going to die. When you come to fight the Tormentor Worm, the dragon, you may add 1 point when calculating your combat rating. And you may add 1 point to any damage done by your mighty battle blade. Okay, so we have +1 combat rating and +1 damage. Gain a hero point and turn to 17. Okay. You find yourself within the great grey vault beneath the earth. Its roof supported by stone arches anchored on pillars, and you lay eyes upon that underground hall heaped with the dead king's glory, the ancient wealth, that golden inheritance, that serpent gelt. Take an agility test. We can't fail because we have 12. 121. Raw beer. It's weekend, isn't it, Jean? Oh, add 20. 141. And there, coiled about the treasure mound, is the worm serpent you have come here to kill. The smooth scales of its armored hide gleam gold with the reflected light of the hoard heap that it clutches to itself like a lover. It is a terrible creature, all wings and fangs and tearing talons, but you are King Beowulf, the Beowulf, the bear, the berserker, and your vengeful fury will not be denied. Taking up your sword, you attack the creature as it lies drowsing, drawing blood before it even knows you are there. Oh, we have +1 to attack in this battle. Wiglaf will aid you in battling the dragon. Each combat round, you have 2 attacks rather than just 1. If you win either, you will injure the dragon, but if you win both, you do double damage. Okay. It's got a very, very high stamina rating, endurance rating, so this might take a while. It's got endurance 48. Right. 6, 6. Okay. But our combat is better, so we've wounded it. We didn't win both, though, because I rolled a 2 for him. So it's down to 45. 4, 7. But we have +1 for this fight, so I've tied with it. God's sake. It has done 1 point of damage to us. Okay, we've wounded it. Oh, and so is he this time. Okay. Right, if you reduce the dragon's endurance to 42 points or fewer, turn to 403. The dragon suddenly breaks off from the fight, rearing up on its hind legs, spreading its wings wide. Its great horned head scrapes the roof of the chamber, sending blocks of stone crashing to the floor. You start to wonder if the worm might bring the entire barrow down upon you. Right, do we continue to battle the dragon inside the barrow, or do we try and lure it outside? Inside or lure outside? Those are your choices. It does say that Wiglaf will only add to our damage. It's attacking us, so it's attacking Beowulf. Okay, we've got 2 inside, 1 outside so far. I think, Hungar, I think you were the 3rd member the channel had. So General Nut and Halakar must be approaching their year by now, around now. Inside's winning by a mile at the moment. Anyone else want to vote? 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2 at the moment. So 5 for inside, 2 for outside at the moment. Looks like we're going inside. 419. Continue your battle using the stats you've already recorded for the worm on the adventure sheet. Okay. Continue the battle. 5-9. We've tied, but Wiglaf has wounded it. Okay. We win that one. Does Wiglaf win as well? Yes, he does. That's another 6. No, one more. It does say reduce its endurance by 12 points or more. We haven't done that yet. We have now. Oh, we definitely have now. So that's another 6. It's down to 20 endurance. 299. Its combat rating is 10, and ours is effectively 14 for this fight. Oh, add Wiglaf. So 319, so 219. As you lay another vicious blow against it, the worm rears up once more, screaming its fury and pain. In response, the roof of the ancient chamber crumbles, and the earth that was heaped upon the headlands so many generations ago by the men of that death-wrapped race comes down in a great flood of turf and stone, half burying the raging ravager. As the landslide comes down upon the dragon, Wiglaf also disappears from view, but there's no time to search for him. The earth flood will not hold your foe for long as it twists its sinuous body and beats its wings to be free, and you cannot see yourself defeating the dragon trapped in a half-buried hoard hold. And so while the serpent is distracted, you make for the surface, scrambling up the ramp of slumped earth. But with every step you take, the twisted thing untangles itself until you feel the terrible heat of a fearsome fire blast chase you up the incline. Do you have the strength to outrun it? We haven't got Tyr's favour because we converted. So we never had Tyr's favour, to be honest. Take an endurance test. Oh, I've rolled very high, but thankfully we've got 28 endurance. So that we haven't failed it. I rolled almost maximum. 366. What's happened to Wiggy? Are we going to get Wiggy out? The flames lick at your heels, but you make it out of the hole onto the top of the barrow without coming to further harm, at least not yet. We have initiative in the battle, so we turn to 4, 5, 6. Blood smoke fills the air around you, and with a terrible roar, its beating wings parting the spark-shot cloud, the dragon is there before you once more, jaws yawning wide as it gives voice to its fiery roar. Do we have the Lord's favour? We do. 491. As you face the worm again, you feel the power of the Lord fill you. For the rest of the duration of the battle with the dragon, you may add 1 point when calculating your combat rating. Okay, so we effectively have a combat rating now of 15. We can't lose this now. We can't lose this. Alone you make your stand against the ancient serpent, and the terrible fire drake has not forgotten your feud as it comes for you, roaring its fiery fury to the heavens, its advance shaking the very ground at your feet. Continue your battle with the dragon. We haven't got Wiglaf, remember, but we have got an immense battle rating. So that's 3 damage. That's 6 damage. It needs to roll. It's got a 5-point penalty against us. So, on 2d6, that's a huge swing. Yeah, we've just hit it for 12 in consecutive rounds. 212. And then, in your own berserk rage, you lay a mighty blow against the dragon, the like of which only a hero such as Beowulf could muster. No, we don't have Thor's favour. Uh-oh. Which sword are you using? We are using Nagling. Take a hero test. We can't fail. Cost us a hero point. Okay. Pass the test, turn to 95. Your bloodied war plough comes down against the dragon's skull with such a force that it delivers the worm a baleful blow. Deduct 4 points from the dragon's endurance score. It's got 4 endurance left. And then turn to 50. Epic combat. It's time to finish the serpent scaled fire breather. No, we haven't got Odin's favour, so we turn to 33. Conclude your battle with the dragon using the stats you recorded for the worm on your adventure sheet. Okay. Okay, it's reduced to 6 points endurance or fewer. It's got 1 endurance point left. So 176. The beast is beaten back by your berserker blows until it rallies, determined to meet its end fighting, sensing that its life force is almost spent. As you prepare to deliver the fatal strike, the dragon's head darts forward on its long neck. The sly serpent catches you in its mouth and bites down hard. Your armor protects you from the worst of what injuries you might have sustained, but one of the dragon's 4 fangs pierces your neck, injecting its fiery venom. Gore gushes in waves and you are drenched in your own life's blood. Have we got a serpent amulet? No, we haven't. Never found a serpent amulet. The dragon will surely die of its wounds before the day is out, but you beat it into death's embrace. Although you hope to be welcomed into Valhalla as a result of such a glorious death, even though there is no one left to avenge it. Oh, no, hang on. Wiglaf. So I've got to add 20 to this. There we go. There we go. As the blood pours from the fatal wound in your hour of need, your faithful shield prince is suddenly there again at your side, and with a scream of grief-born rage, he thrusts the tip of his blade between the dragon's scales, and the flames rising in its throat slacken and die. In that moment's respite, you take command of your wits once more, your grip on your sword like steel again. But still trapped in the monster's mouth, you thrust the blade into the dragon's skull, driving the spark of life from it. And so you, King Beowulf Beastslayer, and Wiglaf, Prince of the Shieldings, make an end of the Ravager. But this great accomplishment is to be the last victory in a long life of daring deeds, for the wound the fire drake inflicted upon you begins to burn and swell, as the foul worm's fiery venom takes effect and burns you up from inside. You feel the bane begin to boil in your chest and know that you have come at last to the end of the allotted days of your earthly happiness. Your most excellent thane washes your bloodied body, and sated with battle, you unfasten your helmet. Through the pain, sensing that death is near, you speak. I have guarded the Geats for half a century, and in all that time not a single ruler of all the neighbouring nations has dared affront me with his friends in war. But wise Wiglaf, you must attend to our people's needs from henceforth. My time on this earth is done. Bid my men of battle build me a tomb like this ancient barrow on the foreland of the sea that shall stand as a memorial to me, so that those ocean travellers who approach our Geatish shores shall afterwards know it as the barrow of Beowulf the bear, Beowulf the battle king, Beowulf beast slayer. Removing the items of your office, you pass your gold-plated helmet, the harness and arm rings to the young prince, saying, "You are the last of our kindred. Fate has lurched each member of my family towards his predestined end, and now I must follow them. And those are the final words you speak, before the choosers of the slain descend on their cloud-pounding sky steeds to carry your soul to Valhalla. In due course, your body is sacrificed to the flames of the funeral pyre, and there is much mourning and misery among the people of your kingdom. But your name lives on, passing into legend as the mighty deeds you performed in life become myth, and part of a tale that will be told 1,000 times for 1,000 years and more. The saga of Beowulf Beast Slayer." The end. We won, and it ended as Beowulf ended, with the death of Beowulf, but success against the dragon. And it was Wiglaf what did it in the end, because he freed himself just as it mattered. And it's lucky I spotted that helmet on 380, otherwise we'd have lost. Anyway, so we've completed Beowulf on our first playthrough, but I think that was a damn good reworking of it. I think that was superbly done. So I think well done, Jonathan Green. That's a really, really good adaptation. Long, evocative. Those mechanics with the things you learn along the way, I think they're great. I think they're really good. So yes, that is Beowulf Beast Slayer from Ace Books. Do we get to play as Grendel? Well, I think we do. I need to find out how, but certainly there are ones in there which suggest you are playing as Grendel at certain points. So I will have a look to see how that's done. But it is now October, which means for the next 3 Fridays, we're going to be attempting to finish House of Hell, the fighting fantasy book. No matter how many times we die, we're just going to come back for more until we find the damn way through House of Hell. It's a book that I've never finished. And we've already died in it about 6 times on the streams months ago. So it's the one for Halloween. Thank you, Shaw Piglet. Thank you. Cheers, John. Cheers, John. See you again soon. I'm going to bring the stream to a close there. Thank you all for joining me in that reading through of the epic Beowulf. It is a meaty book. It's well worth the money. But of course, you all now know the solution to it. Iman, you know the way through House of Hell, do you? Right, okay. Maybe you can guide us, because I want to complete it. I've never done it. I'd love to complete it. But next week, it'll be House of Hell. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for making this a good stream. Nice to see everyone getting involved. I will look into playing as Grendel, maybe for Christmas or something like that. But remember, we're playing OSE tomorrow. My MERP game is pretty much full now. But we're playing OSE tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. UK time. And next week, we're playing OSE on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to be running Call of Cthulhu on this Saturday evening. So if you want to play some Cthulhu with me, make sure you go to the events bit of the Discord and sign up for that. I know we've got some new people who want to try out Call of Cthulhu who've never played it before, so that could be a good option for anybody who is new to Cthulhu. And if you're not new, you're more than welcome to come along. Anyway, thank you all. It's exclamation mark Piglet for little oink. Straw Piglet. But cheers all, and thanks for the cheers, Iman. That's nice to nice to hear when people say good things. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and I've got work tomorrow. And my wife is in bed. I can hear her snoring. She growls like a sleeping dragon. She didn't hear that. Right, cheers all. Good night.